To Manchester United 0, Spurs the deserved winners after 90 minutes. It was a good first half performance from Manchester United, the better of the chances. We cut Spurs open on 3 or 4 occasions, and Rashford threw one-on-one. Garnacho with a bad touch, should have hit it first time, should have scored, and Bruno with an absolute sitter. Those goals go in. It's a very, very different game, but towards the end of that first half, Tottenham improved. They hit the post twice in quick succession. And from the beginning of that second half, it was absolutely abysmal from Manchester United. Too direct, not wanting to try and play through the middle, lost their heads, no cohesion as a team. And I don't want to take anything away from Tottenham. I'll try my best to not be biased about this. They deserve the win. The second half, they took over. They moved the ball around well. It flowed. They had the right amount of aggression. They looked fit. They look conditioned and ready for the start of the campaign. And look, some fortune in both their goals. But you make your own luck sometimes in football. First of all, Manchester United allowing Kulusevski the freedom of the park on that left-hand side. A player of his ability to run in and get all the way into the box. Yes, he's crossed the flex and it fortuitously falls at the legs of Saar, but he gambled and he buries it. And from that point, United when it had an opportunity, Antony should score. He doesn't. And then that was it. United fell apart. We fell apart. There was no cohesion. We just kept on hitting the ball long. And it was embarrassing to see. And again, the second goal, you may never see another one like it in your life. I still can't quite work out what happened. A decent cross, a mishit shot. It's going wide. And Lissandro panics, flicks his leg out, own goal. Onana could do absolutely nothing about it. And United continue their terrible away form against the top 9 teams. We lost 8 and drew 1 last year. This was the ground we actually got a draw at. Today, we started off with another defeat. And in the end, a poor performance. And I said about Liverpool earlier, it's not often how you start games, it's how you finish them. And that was the message today. United started well. We looked so much better than we did against Wolves. But we faded throughout the course of the game. And there's a few elements that really concern me. First of all, stop playing Rashford as the 9. Halt the madness. Stop this. It doesn't work. It is not working. Mason Mount is not a 6. He can't play that role. This could end up going down as one of the most catastrophic signings the club has made post Sir Alex Ferguson. In fact, in the Premier League era. 55 million is a lot of money. But it's 2 games on the bounce and he looks so off the pace. So, he looks like a fish out of water. And even when he got moved into a more... attacking role, he got a bit more involved. But in that central midfield role, he ain't it. I understand what the manager's doing. He doesn't want to bring Scott into the game. He's trying to show the ball. We need a ball-playing 6, and we do. He never got his Frankie de Jong. He wants Amrabat, but these deals haven't happened. And it was called out in the week, and maybe the manager's to blame for this. Maybe he should have got Amrabat before buying Mount. Starting to feel that way for me. Take Bruno off when he's not playing well. Started well. First half, he was excellent. That Rabona cross... excellent. He was in the right positions. He was moving the ball well. He was finding people. He was leading. The team were playing well. As the second half went on, he faded and he faded and he faded. Take him off. Pellistri looked dangerous when he came on. He should have got an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes. Take Bruno off. You've got to do it when he isn't playing well. Leaving him on today hurt us. And I've mentioned Rashford already, but you play Rashford on the left. He's one of the best left-sided attackers in world football. He's not a number 9. So I'll criticize his performance, but he's playing out of position. He's never going to be great at that role. Sancho, I believe, can do a better job in a false 9 role than Rashford does. Give it a go. You did it all pre-season, and you're deciding to not do it now. And one message I've got to these Man United players is always get that. It's old-fashioned, but get the ball into the box. Do you know the amount of times we have the ability to cross or play a through ball and we just don't do it? Where did both of Spurs' goals come from today? Crosses and through balls. You can kind of say the second one was a combination of the two. Get the ball in the box. And the big concern for me in this game is Man United don't look fit. I'm not talking about no passion or desire. I'm saying we don't look fit. We had 9 minutes of time added on. There was actually time to get back in the game. But even the players, we look lethargic. We look tired. We had players bending over, holding their knees at 60 minutes. Now, maybe this is some master plan to get into peak form later in the season so we don't burn out at the end of the campaign. Maybe. I don't know. That's me being completely optimistic. But it's poor. We should be starting the season so much better than we have. It's been horrendous. Get Rashford out the 9. Stop playing Mount as a central midfielder. Take Bruno off when he's playing badly. Get a bit of still in the middle. Casemiro is going to take the blame again. But he's being left exposed. He's being left in the second half is where we got his first half. He weren't being run all over. Spurs had a few opportunities, but Spurs are a decent team. I know we need more recruits, but I'm not sitting here and buying this. I add 2 more players and we transform massively. A lot of this is on the manager and playing people in the wrong positions and making poor decisions with his subs. It absolutely, categorically is. And I don't care that it's 2 games in. This is not a knee-jerk reaction. This is a follow-on from things you were saying last year. But you've had a second pre-season. I expect improvements. I'm not going to lower my standards at all. Shocking. Now, as I said at the top, I don't want to take anything away from Tottenham. They deserve their win. I praised them last week. I thought the first half, Man United were better. The game didn't actually go in the first half how I thought it would. About 50-50 with the possession. Man United with 14 attempts on goal is very good away from home. Now, we didn't force a save from the goalkeeper. That was my issue. We lack a clinical edge. But in the second half, Tottenham moved that ball well. They bullied us. They got their inverted fullbacks further up the pitch. And Man United started to struggle. And as soon as we went a goal down, you saw the confidence grow amongst these Tottenham players, and a very pretty and aesthetically pleasing, but also durable and efficient style of play started to emerge. And listen, a lot of us have criticized that the bringing in the manager Big Ange, and I know that Tottenham fans are not going to get carried away, and that's not what I'm doing for them now, but I'm praising them for how good they looked, especially in that second half. Man United didn't look as though we could score a goal against you if we played for another 90 minutes. I still think they need a proper number 9. I don't think Richarlison's it. That would make them more dangerous, but it's a work in progress. I think Spurs fans, 4 points from 2 games, and in both matches, some real good green shoots of hope for the future with this new manager. Don't get carried away, but it looked very promising indeed. By the way, viewers, hit like buttons for us. Please make sure you're subscribing as well. Debbie here says, it's okay, Terry. Ten Hag will turn this ship around. #Spursy. Look, I've got a lot of faith in Ten Hag. I think he's a very good manager, but I will criticize him when I think he gets things wrong. And I think he did today. Casemiro got absolutely ran over by Basuma and Maddison. He's been back heel megged, sent around in circles and run past by body feints. He looks like he's aged 10 years. He can't match the pace. See, again, though, this is about giving him help in the middle. This is about him not being exposed. In the first half, that wasn't happening, and it was the same players against him. We lost our shape in the second half. You scored, you upped your levels. We actually stopped using our midfield. We just started knocking the ball long. We'd knock the ball long, the midfield would push up, and then when you won the ball back and you're attacking us, Casemiro by himself going, yo, it's not on him. It's not on him. You try spinning that many plates and see if they drop. I think what we're doing here is you are looking at the symptom of the problem. You know, the symptom of the problem. I had a bag back once, but it was actually because I had a problem with my right knee, and I was compensating and putting more weight on my right leg, and my back started hurting. So I did have a bad back, but it didn't matter how many painkillers I took or how many massages I got on my back until I fixed the issue with my knee on my right leg. It was never going to go away long term. We need a 6 in that midfield to help. I've changed my top 4 predictions. You won't like it. You're entitled to change your predictions, my man. Arsenal fan, respect they played very well. Bullied United. In that second half, absolutely spot on. Need the Glazers to pull out the credit card and spend another 150 million. Don't even care if debt piles on. Also, how did Onana downgrade from a broke club? Listen, I feel sorry for Onana. I see a lot of people like getting at him because he conceded 2 goals. Again, he's not at fault for either of those goals. He did his job absolutely right today. But between the players and the manager, awful. And over Ten Hag, how many more of these until sacked? How many more defeats? Listen, are you, Alex, saying that Ten Hag, is that your point you're making? Like, be a little more direct. Do you believe he should be sacked at this point? I want to get your opinion. Clear pen and usually begging for signings from me aside. I don't think I've seen a game that best describes a game of 2 halves. Yeah, look, a lot of Man United fans might focus on the handball in the first half. I thought it was a penalty based on ones we've seen before, maybe a little close to him, but it wasn't given. So I'm just hoping now there's some consistency. It kind of marries up with the penalty that Liverpool didn't get last week. So maybe that's some consistency, but we didn't deserve to win. We faded too much in that second half of that penalty for me to be overly influential. Yes, maybe if we score from it, it's a different second half, but I agree with you. Game of 2 halves, but generally speaking, you're better off playing well in the second half than the first. Cass lost his legs. Can't use him like this. No, we can't use him as a lone 6 while we've got the rest of our team bombing forward and the fullbacks not inverting and staying back. It's not on Cass. It's on the team. Terry, I think the ownership issues and the Mason Greenwood negativity is taking its toll on the players. Maybe a little bit, but I think that would be too much of a convenient excuse, in my opinion. What is Ten Hag ball supposed to look like? Well, it's meant to look like what the first half did, where we cut through Spurs on many, many occasions. And we created many chances, but we need a better 6. We need a proper number 9. And then we do need certain players to step up. So you could see the style of football. The problem is with a lot of these players, as soon as the pressure gets on top away from home at these big teams, they crumble. Love you, Terry, but you've been shitting on Tottenham all summer. Good football spoke today. Up the Spurs. Big Ange. Best football I've seen in years. Now, Josh, listen, I criticized the manager. I don't know if he's going to be good enough to get Spurs where you all want to be. The football looked great today. He beat Man United, and you got to give him, got to praise him for that. Let's see. If Man United were clinical in that first half, we could be having a very different conversation now. But what I've done 2 games running, Josh, I've praised Big Ange. I've praised your team and said he's done better than I thought he would. And you know me, you've been watching long enough. If I get it wrong, I'll hold my hands up. That's what real men do. But appreciate the super chat, bro. Rival said last season after 2 losses, United won't make top 8. Now they are saying it again after only 1 loss. You have to laugh. Yeah, again, listen, people can look, save it. And then if we do make it, they'll say, but you should. We all knew you would. It is what it is. I'm used to it by now. Jerome here says, I told you, and ball is going to shock a lot of people, and we do not have a proper striker. Not getting too gassed, but this is promising. Very promising. Should Garnacho have started? Look, hindsight's a very lucrative commodity. We should have been leading at halftime, in my opinion, by at least a goal or 2. Then we would have said, absolutely superb decision to play the same 11, but we ended up losing. So now it will be very much criticized because those players didn't score. What I now expect to see from the manager is a number of changes for the next game. Firstly, I hope you're doing well, Terry, but I can't believe these Man United fans compared Casemiro to Partey. That's jokes. The Butcher has also gone vegan. Yeah, look, they're neither have started the season particularly well. Like I said about Casemiro, this is the system damaging him more than him, the player, personally. But agendas have got a roll, I suppose. Is this Ollie part 2? Maybe. If you think so, what do you think? I want to get your... I don't think it is, but what do you think? Man said the players out of breath was part of the long-term plan. I've heard everything. But that isn't what I said, is it, Dawson? I was being sarcastic, saying, I hope that, maybe that's some crazy plan. Sarcasm, my bro. I don't know. Maybe you don't have sarcasm where you live. Ten Hag, not even top 5 managers right now. Pep, Klopp, Arteta, Poch, De Zerbi. United fans overhyping the bald man. So you agree that last year was an overachievement then? We've gone back to this now. Last year wasn't an overachievement. Now we've not even got one of the top back. Be consistent because we'll bookmark all this. Terry, you know me, I'm an Inter fan and I have no favourites. What is this refereeing last week? Wolves and today with Liverpool and 2 for United. Yeah, look, it's listen, as long as they maintain the consistency with what's a red card, what isn't. I mean, the thing is, I did think, again, I'm not going to overly focus on it, but I thought there was as much contact on Palestri as there was on Slobberslide today. But there we go. Mount is 002 in the Prem. Yes, he is. He is right now. And he was poor. You've been talking trash about Spurs for months just for your team to come do this. Sometimes I think you forget Man United is not City. I understand you, but if Tottenham, where did I predict Tottenham to finish? I think I predicted you to come about 7th. And you may do better than that now. But I might change my mind. I didn't think you'd look as good at this at the start of the season. That's it. We can put our hands up and say, that's wrong. You know? As I've said, I'm a man of my word. But Spurs are scary, Terry. No, not yet. Like, I'm not scared of what Spurs are doing. They look good, though. Why are you scared of everything, Terry? I'm scared of football teams that are definitely better than us and clubs with the ambition to remain better than us. Sack Ten Hag now. That's embarrassing. What kind of manager plays Mount? Why are you hiring crap players? Sack him now. Man United must win the Champions League. Thanks, Safe. Before the game, this game is not for me, is what Garnacho said. Back to London in 2 weeks. Doesn't look... Listen, I'm not looking forward to playing Arsenal at the Emirates at all. 2 clear penalties denied for Man United is what African Soldier says. Garnacho, the Hudson Odoi, the minerals have landed. And Harold here says, doesn't help either 169 million is more signings. We need to change how the football club is run. I don't like Ten Hag, but this is not on him. Yeah, look, what I would say about that money being spent, one of them hasn't kicked a ball yet in terms of Højlund. I think that will help the team having that focal point number 9. But I'm not totally going at the owners here. This is a lot of the players were here last year and we played better at Tottenham. Now, I know they've changed their system, but we messed up. Last season, we had that bad record against the top 9. But even our away record in general, Man United missed so many chances in those games to take leads. Go back to the Brighton and the West Ham game last year. I know West Ham are not a top 9 team. Both beat us. Both of those games, we should have been 2-3-0 up before they scored, and we didn't do it. That lack of clinical edge is a big problem too. Not Ten Hag out yet, but when you demand control of transfers and then sign Antony and Mount, you invite pressure on yourself. Don't blame him completely for today, but I blame him for signing these players. And I think that's an absolutely fair criticism to have. Mount is a number 7. United is dusted. Burn that shirt is what D says here. And are you beginning to question Ten Hag? Well, I've questioned him today, and I want to see what his response to this is. I'm not just going to have a knee-jerk reaction and say that he's got to go. Anyone who dislikes him will say this is proof he isn't good enough. But equally, when you say we overachieved last season, they say, no, you didn't. You got a brilliant squad and a brilliant manager. So I just kind of want the criticism to be consistent from you all. I'm pretty sure Messi will give the butcher the call, reminding him that he's not Maguire. He didn't play that badly today. It was just a bad own goal. I don't know where all the United fans are for the panel today. I'm not sure if KJ shared the link with them. I know the Spurs fans are here. I don't know where them boys are at, but lots of Spurs fans backstage. We'll be with you for a while. Obviously, we're going to be covering the Newcastle City game. We're live after that as well. But we're going to bring the panel out now to have their say. Please hit the like buttons. Please subscribe. Let's do it. To the terrace, everyone. Congratulations to the Spurs boys that are on the show. I want to go to Hannah first. Obviously, an embarrassing defeat for us today. Give me your thoughts on the performance and the way we ended up losing.
Yeah, another awful performance. It's actually not funny. It's actually really quite upsetting and a little bit worrying. I mean, it was a great first half. The first half looked good. Obviously, whether you're a Man United fan or not, that was definitely a penalty. That was an awful decision. And I think once Spurs scored and so close, to the second half being open, it really Terry just completely knocked the confidence out of us. And after that, the game just ran away with Spurs, and they were definitely the better team. They definitely deserved to win. But again, it's now questioning Eric Ten Hag. I mean, when I saw the lineup go up, I did think there would be some changes, and I was surprised that there wasn't. But in a way, we know that Ten Hag is very kind of faithful to that starting lineup. So I think changes should have been made, definitely. I think Mount in midfield, that needs to be questioned a little bit. Like I said on Monday, I don't know if it's too soon, but the midfield again was shocking. The attack was shocking. Rashford at a number 9. I don't know how he is still going out as a number 9 when we have the likes of Martial on the bench. We have Sancho, who's better as a false 9 than Rashford is as a striker. He needs to be on the left. And I just don't understand the logic of just continuing to put him as a false 9. And I hope that's not Ten Hag's plan until Højlund comes in, because we've got tough games before then and we don't know yet when he is coming back. So a shocking performance. It was just the second half that just completely got away with us. But yeah, really embarrassing, and it doesn't look good right now. But again, I don't want to be reactionary.
No, listen, I agree with everything that you've said, really. I think there has to be question marks on the manager. I think, yes, some people may say manager out now, and they may jump straight to that conclusion. Obviously, we're going to be talking about a lot of it, but big result for you boys today, young Daniel. Big result, big win.
I am buzzing. Ange Postecoglou is cooking something here different. By the way, ain't it very funny that Man United fans are now complaining about a penalty after what happened last week? I don't know. I just find that hilarious, first of all. Second of all, a lot of decisions went... Listen, as a Tottenham fan, I will sit here and say it probably was a penalty. You're right. But there was a lot of decisions that went against us as well. It was very clear that it wasn't deliberate. It was very clear that Romero did not want to hit the ball with his hand. But what was he doing, defending with his hands up like this? It's kind of stupid. But there was a lot of yellow cards that we got that I didn't agree with. I think the new refereeing rules, giving yellow cards for waving imaginary yellow cards, is bollocks. But listen, what a performance from certain individuals. Papa Matessar, this kid is going to be a baller. I said it last time I was on here. This kid is an absolute phenomenon. In the future, he's going to be, I think, starting for Tottenham 100%. Bissouma, this guy is the reincarnation of Moussa Dembele. I'm telling you right now. Every aspect of his game is the same thing. He completely bossed the midfield today. I could not be happier. I
hear you on that. And we'll come back and talk a bit more of Tottenham soon. Staffy is here with us. Another a poor result this time round. And obviously a very poor second half performance. Talk to us, mate.
First of all, for everyone in the comments, I don't hide. I just got the link. So if you guys want to blame someone, blame KJ for being late on sending the link, because I saw my name spammed crazy in the comment. Where do I start? Do I say the same thing I said last week? Do I say the same thing I said all summer? This team will not work. It will not work. This team is overrated. We're not going to go for the league. I've said it. We are so overrated. We're not going to compete for the league. People said I'm negative. People said I'm showing my butt crack too early. People said I'm this, I'm that. We have seen it on the pitch. I predicted it before we even stepped a foot on the pitch, and now it's happening. So if what on the pitch is happening based on what I predicted, must mean that I know something, okay? I said last week, and I'm going to say it again, and KJ, you can clip this one as well. Saudi Arabia, if you are watching this, please set in a bid for Casemiro, because it's not going to work with Casemiro in the midfield. Yes, I understand he's being isolated. Yes, I get all that. I explained it last week. I'm not going to explain the same thing again. It's not going to work. This midfield is not going to work. People want me to go in on Mount. I'm not going to go in on Mount anymore. I never wanted the signing. I'm not gonna rant about something that I said it's not going to work. That midfield is finished. That midfield gave me 4 or 5 horrible games, including preseason, and I don't want to watch it again. I don't want to watch this midfield of Casemiro in the 6 and 2 10s. It's not going to work. They're too far away from him. They're living on his own. He's losing agility. He just looked like he aged 5 years over the summer. I'm going to be very honest. And it's sad to look at, because Bissouma, world class. Bissouma's world class. Let me just say it here now. Bissouma's absolutely world class, and this guy is magnificent. The way he tore apart Casemiro today just shows me how great this player is, and I really wanted him in my team last season. So this midfield is finished. The attacking line is finished. We're playing the same 3 again that absolutely shit the bed in front of Wolves. I said what the changes would be, and I recommended to bring in Sancho just to at least unlock Rashford. Today, the space that Garnacho had, if you gave that to Rashford, he scores a goal. because he had Pedro Porro on strings today. Pedro Porro did not look comfortable against him in the first half. So if you put Rashford on that left-hand side, he does a much better job than Garnacho did. But he didn't do that. I said, let's start Sancho. You did it all preseason. It worked. He didn't do it again. I got called a Sancho fanboy so many times just for saying he fundamentally does things differently in that front line than no one else does. That front line looked terrific again. Bruno, I'm not even going to speak about this guy because I'm so finished with him. So
when you say you're so finished with Bruno, what do you mean by that? Expand.
We're never going to win anything with Bruno in that midfield. I'll be very honest with you. I said it today on my stream, and I'm ready to start this agenda. Bruno, we're never going to win anything with Bruno in our midfield. As long as this guy's our main midfielder, we are never going to win anything. And I will say that until the day he leaves that club. Okay, he has the technical ability. I've said that so many times. How many times do we go away from home and get battered because this guy can't keep the ball? I am so sick of it. It's not going to work. This guy's our captain now for anything, so he's not going anywhere for a long time. So don't expect this team to win anything. This midfield needs to be changed. This front line needs to be changed. Ten Hag, I said, for me to ever turn on a manager, I give a manager 3 strikes. He's on his second one with me right now. The number one was signing Mount. I'm not going to go in on Mount for people who want me to go in on him. He's just not the player that he's being used for something that he's not. So that was strike number 1, signing Mount. Strike number 2 is being persistent with this midfield, persistent with this 11, refusing to change it even though we see it's not working. So I'm on strike 2 with Ten Hag. I'm not going to go Ten Hag out like people want me to be over 2 defeats, but he's really walking on thin ice with me right now because he's not making the proper changes. We can sit here and talk about the chances we missed in the first half. Alan, you called me on my stream and you made fun of me because I said it was going to be an easy game. That first half, we should be at least up 2-0. And I expected this first half to be like that because we should have had the penalty. Bruno should be parrying that. What's his name? Garnacho missed a sitter really when he took that heavy touch instead of hitting it first time. So that's at least 3 goals that we should, the 3 chances that we should have scored.
You're not looking.
Hang on. So a question, Staffy. If we should have been 3-0 up, why are you criticizing the manager's starting lineup?
I'll tell you why. Because in the second, I'll tell you why.
That's got to be the player. Like, as far as I'm concerned, if your team creates what you've just said, 3, 1 was a penalty, but 2 clear-cut opportunities that should make you 2 or 3-0 up. You can't criticize the starting lineup. That means it was right, but the players, their execution was wrong. I don't understand how you can.
I can explain. I can explain. The first half is exactly what I expected it to be. So I said we'll find it easy because they will leave a lot of space, and they did leave the space. Now, them missing the chances is not the manager's fault. I get that. But even when I made my prediction, I said we're going to win easy against Spurs, which we should have done in the first half. And I said something very important that everyone wants to ignore. I said it will paper over the cracks. Everyone is not going to play against us the same way Spurs do. Spurs left us the space in the first half. They didn't in the second half. The minute a team pulled up in the second half and actually decided to play football, we had no answer. They ran that first half the second half from start to end, and we had no answers. The changes came late. The reaction from the manager came late. Some of these players I actually blame because they're so spineless on the pitch, and it just looks like we're going to have a similar away record to last season. So my final message on this, because I promised myself I wasn't going to rant today, but when I saw everyone saying I'm hiding, I had to come out and clarify why I'm not hiding. This team is too overrated. Wallahi, we will get nowhere this season if we don't make another signing, at least in that midfield. And if we persist with Mount playing in that midfield and that same 11. If we play that same 11 again, just don't expect me to even watch the game. I'm just going to watch the match reaction because I'm going to be hearing the same shit all over and over again. It won't work.
Staffy, can I say something?
Go ahead, bro.
I get the point that you should have scored 3 goals, but I think it's a very one-dimensional opinion to think that you should have been 3-0 up because we also hit the post. No,
I said 1 of the 3 at least, 1 or 2 of the 3. Yes, you hit the post, but you guys didn't create as many chances as we did. You guys had more of the ball in the first half, but we had the better chances in the first half. Outside of that, when you guys hit the post, we had the better scoring chances. You came out in the second half, and by the way, I bigged up your manager a lot. I bigged up your players a lot. When I said I predicted that score, I didn't say that's a disrespect to Spurs. I said you guys will become good later as the season goes. And you did show it in the first half. In the first half, it wasn't your best game. But in the second half, I don't know what Ange said at halftime, but he got you guys playing elite football in the second half. So this was never a diss at you guys, by the way. I respect what's going on in Spurs. But this is more of me relating how my team plays against your team or teams who have a low block. I knew when you guys give us space, we'll get more chances. We didn't capitalize. And in the second half, when you were a little bit better on the ball and you were more compact and you didn't give away the ball, we did fuck all. So it's gonna be the story of the season until we change something. Alan, I see you laughing, smiling there, but it is what it is, Alan. You can have your moment, bro.
Alan, from your point of view, obviously there's a lot of talk of United, but from a Tottenham perspective, especially the second half, you came out quick. For some weird reason, Luke Shaw and Garnacho gave Kulusevski the freedom of the park. You scored, and then you really saw a change in your team. It was a completely different team in the second half when the confidence got up, the crowd got up, because Man United really silenced it in the first half.
No, look, before I go into that, Terry, just Staffy singing he shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We should have done this. We could have done that. We would have done this. It doesn't matter. You've done nothing. So you could have had all the chances in the world, but you do nothing with it. So it doesn't matter, mate. You told me on my channel that this was going to be an easy game for United. You also said that you have athletes in the midfield. Where were your midfield? You were nowhere. So
I said you don't have athletes in the midfield. Don't sit here and say that I bigged up my midfield. Don't lie. I never big up my midfield. So don't change it.
Come on, let me have it.
But just tell the truth then.
I just think you need to literally just be a bit more humble in the fact that what happened. But we'll get to that a bit later on. Look, that first half for Spurs reminded me of Conte ball. So awful, so slow on the ball. We were literally inviting people on, closing us down. We were just pumping it into the middle. You were turning it over, and you were all over us. You could have scored. Yep, I'll give you that, but you didn't. The handball for me is not a penalty. 1.5 yards away, and it weren't out here or out there. It was a natural movement. He's coming back, and his arm's literally just by his side here. So it's a natural movement, not a penalty for me. 1.5 yards away. I've said it about all of them. I've said it about every penalty like that, so absolutely not. In the second half, Spurs showed what we did against Brentford for most of the game. We showed up, played the ball. Like Terry said, we pushed higher up the pitch. We made it harder for you. Your midfield was overran. Saar looks like a baller. We just got to make sure we nurture him and give him more game time. Skip needs to just be out of this team. He's not good enough at this level. Stick with Saar, stick with Basuma. You've got legs in that midfield. You've got people to play. Basuma has gone from Antonio Conte. If you ever watch this, stop playing fossil football with great players and allow them to play football, because Basuma showed what you don't do with him to what you do with him with Ange, and he looks a completely different player. So why don't you just focus on actually letting players play in the future? Coming back to Ange ball, like I said, Kulu I didn't think had a good game at all, to be fair. I think he was very lackadaisical. Richarlison is not the guy. I thought he could do a job for the Spurs this season. Hold up play is awful. First touch is awful. We look better with Son going through the middle and Perisic coming on the wing. And even when Solomon came on, we looked better on that side as well without Kulu. Again, people coming on, we're having to rely on Deadwood. Højbjerg almost cost us a goal. I don't know where you got the 9 minutes from as well. That was just ridiculous. How on earth you got 9 minutes in that second half? Fergie time, Ten Hag time, whatever it was, all added.
Bro, I wanted it to end. Why are you complaining about 9 minutes? I didn't want to watch 9 minutes of this shit. I was
be real.
You are.
If you scored one goal before the 90th minute, the game could have relived, and then you could have those stupid decisions can cost a team. Be real. 9 minutes, there was absolutely no need for that. There was one VAR call that cost a minute, maybe max 2 minutes. There was no reason for 9 minutes.
Staffy told me
a couple of people went down with heads, I think.
You see the Ten Hag football of Ajax, attacking intent and all that. You saw that, but when you saw a team put it on you, you did what you did last season.
I don't think you're listening to anything I'm saying.
End of.
You're not listening to anything I'm saying, Alan. It's like you're talking about my twin brother or something.
But you know what I don't understand, Staffy? And I need to ask you a question as a United fan. I don't disagree with a lot of things you've said, but are you really angry now at Ten Hag and the team because you gave it Billy Big Balls on the internet? This was going to be an easy win and we got beat, and now you're embarrassed.
No.
Again, I don't understand how you can think the team's so shit and overrated, but then predict battering Tottenham at White Hart Lane and making it easy. That's what doesn't make sense to me as a prediction, Staffy. I don't understand why you can predict an easy win if we're a shit overrated team with no team with no midfield goes away from home against a top team and wins. That's what I don't understand, G.
Because Terry, you don't need to be a good team to counterattack. And that's what we did in the first half. We did win the ball high up the pitch a few times, and I did predict that. But we created enough. You said it before the panel came on. You said we had enough chances to score. If we go into the half, I'll tell you something. If we go into halftime 2-0 up, is that a good result? That's a magnificent result, right? Do we go into the second half playing the same way? Are we going to be as expensive? No, we wouldn't. So if we go into the first half winning 2-0, as I said, and then the second half, we concede all the possession, but we're a little bit more compact because we don't need to step out and score again, then my prediction looks correct. I don't care about my prediction. I'm just explaining where it came from.
I understand
the chances were there.
I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think in the first half we were an out-and-out counter-attacking team. There were lots of our opportunities where we built the ball. We built the ball up from the back. So again, I understand where you're coming from, but still, If I felt that my midfield was so weak that Spurs were going to run through it and we're an overrated team, counter-attack or not, I would never be predicting an easy win away from home against one of the top teams, one of the top 6, 7, 8 teams in the Premier League. Personally, I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from. I want to speak to more of the boys, but I can't ignore these super chats that are coming through. How can managers, after managers, get the midfield wrong? What's the point of signing a goalkeeper amount when other positions were a priority? Look, I do think Onana was a priority. If you don't want to keep, if you don't want the hair anymore, listen. There was 2 passes from in that first half from the goalkeeper. Exactly why we brought him in. There was a few, but when we stop playing through the midfield and we start going long all the time, it don't work. But I hear you. Ten Hag smells in cooking up all kinds of stink right now. United only 40 shots allowed in 2 games. Yeah, most of them were yesterday. I mean, in fairness, like how many did we concede today? 17, which is quite a lot. We actually had 22 ourselves. It was a good game, really, if you're a neutral, probably. Basuma and Sarr did bits in the midfield. Is it pronounced Undogi?
Udoji.
Udoji, that's the one. That's the one. I keep getting it fucking wrong. I don't know why. I'm going to get everyone.
Everyone's
You can call him
name
Ugodi. It's a little easier.
That has a lot of talent. I don't like Richarlison as a 9, but Son wasn't any better. Hashtag Kulu on fraud watch. But yeah, I mean, if your front 3 gets better, you could be even more dangerous this year. Bermuda Guna, I predicted your loss based on the quality of your team thus far. Midfield debacle. Manny here says, to be honest, Conte should be arrested for holding Basuma back. This is the Basuma from Brighton days. I was worried would return. Fair play spuds is what Manny says. Bruno, Shaw, Rashford have conned millions of fans. I get where you're coming from. I don't think they have. It's systems here. Is Ten Hag good enough, Fluers and United fans? I'll throw this one out to Dizzy here. Is Ten Hag, in your opinion, still good enough, or should he be getting criticised more by Man United fans?
So I try to be as balanced as possible. I try not to be reactionary, but if you're being very honest about it, we are in year 2 of a rebuild. Year 1, we say give him time. Let's see what he's got going on. Year 2, the signings that he's made don't make any sense as far as when you're trying to create a cohesive team. I think Antony on the wing doesn't offer very much. That signing for 100 mil doesn't really make much sense to me. You say, yeah, he's got great work rate, but as a forward and you have no end product, fucking stick him right back then. If that's the case, if you love work rate, and get somebody that can actually produce up top. You want a midfield that is functional. We have Casemiro, cool. We have Fernandes, cool. But you sign Mount, and that throws off the whole balance of the midfield. So now that doesn't make any sense. Onana and the whole backline is functional, is cool. I mean, it works, but then you abandon the whole ball playing aspect of it when you have a dysfunctional midfield. So I think, and also the starting lineup being the same in back-to-back games, that stunk to me. I saw that and I was like, I'm not optimistic at all. I think he's a bit too stubborn in what he wants to do at times, and I think he's made more towards the back end of last season and the start of this season. He's making more errors and he's getting things correct, in my personal opinion, and that's a red flag personally.
I think a lot of Man United. I mean, Sunshine's on here with us as well. Hannah, do you agree with what Dizzy's saying there?
Bro, I tell you what's the most potent thing for me right now. Yeah, I was trying to show people last season, yeah, and exactly what you said, Terry, yeah, about symptoms versus the actual fucking problem. We don't score fucking goals. We don't have clinical players. This is why I said, based on the budget we have, get 2 fucking strikers. Go and buy Harry fucking Kane. Go and buy the man who can put the ball in the net, because you know what? Even if De Gea makes one mistake in 10 fucking games, we're still walking away winning 3-1. And no one's talking about the midfield. No one's talking about the defense. We're all talking about, yeah, we won the game. We got 3 fucking points. I was trying to say to people, and again, I've listened to exactly what everyone's just been talking about. Oh, well, we created more chances. Oh, well, you know what? We did concede more shots, though. I literally said that's what would happen. What's the point in creating more chances, especially last season when we created enough anyway, What's the point in creating more chances if you got no one to clinically finish the ball? Get me 2 fucking strikers, man. 2 strikers first and foremost. Because if the midfield was good enough to create enough to go and put the ball in the fucking net, I would not be sitting here pissed that we're losing 2-0 because we couldn't put the ball in the fucking net. It makes no sense to me. This fan base here, oh my, this fucking fan base was so, they're literally like me right now, emotional and reactional over stupid things. They put all their eggs in one basket because it was so popular to destroy De Gea. And bear in mind, I was sitting here saying, I want De Gea gone. But based on budget and budget alone, De Gea is a problem, not the problem. Last season, we had 58 goals in the season in the Prem. 50 Ross Clark, 8 goals. And you're telling me that a striker is not more of a priority than a fucking goalkeeper just because he makes mistakes in the odd game we concede 7 or 4. We created how many chances today? Onana made 2 pings. But what do we do with it? Fuck all. So what's the point? There's no end product. So I don't care if we fucking create more. I don't care about the fucking system if we don't go and fucking bag goals. Priority, it's quite simple for me.
Swearing down just a little bit more, please.
Sorry, bro. Sorry, my bad.
I'm
fuming, bro. I'm fuming. My bad.
I know you are.
My bad. Fucking lung capacities like this right now, bro. Listen.
And then he's mad the F-bomb again.
It's mad. It's mad. Listen, I'll yeah, sorry if it's coming through the headphones wrong. At the end of the day, if we bag the goals and chances that we have, and respectfully, yes, Spurs hit the post, but on the balance of who had the better first half in the moments, when you're playing away, you have to be fucking clinical. 1 point last season.
Bro, chill.
What is it still coming strong? Wait.
He's not thinking right.
We had 1 point last season. And yeah, listen. No, we're 1 point away from home last season, yeah? Against the top 9, apparently. How can you go into a season not having anyone clinical? You've got to go and get your 3 points. I appreciate putting the system first. I appreciate having to do it. But for me personally, the way that we've done it, and this is my own observation, I think we've tried to take 3 steps forward, and technically we're going 3-4 steps back. This is why I said having a goalkeeper next season be more important, because I know winning is all that matters. If you statistically look at it last season, if you bag goals and you win matches, no one's talking about the mistakes. And Terry, you've done this many times, so I know your objective. You did it with Kevin De Bruyne. You did it with KDB. You said you watch him in a game, see how many mistakes he makes. Why doesn't it get aired? And rightly so, because they win games. And if he makes some mistakes, it gets mopped up. It's no problem. But when we make mistakes, it's amplified. It is fucking amplified. And so what then happens is that we get like bare emotion, and then we get in our feelings. It's like, oh yeah, well, De Gea's this, da. Yes, De Gea's shit at certain things. But could we manage for one more season if it meant that we bagged 3 goals in a game? Because really and truly, you're gonna get the 3 points. So yeah, let me recharge on my oxygen. But that's all
you know
I've
what
got to
it
say
is,
with it right now. That's
you know what it is. You know what it is. You know what it is. I don't even think. Yes, we have a striker problem. That is very true and evident for everybody to see. But I think the other thing is we don't have any create first forwards. All the forwards. I disagree.
I disagree. You've got Amad Diallo. You've got,
I mean on the pitch,
literally, and everyone was sleeping on. Everyone was sleeping on Amad Diallo last time. Everyone's sleeping on him. I'm talking about mature ballers in the final third under pressure, competent under pressure. If you've got mature ballers in the right areas in the final third, you're more than likely going to score or create. That's it.
I hear that.
3 forwards at the moment. One who isn't a striker.
Yep.
Selfish as fuck. He should have laid off the ball. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, going at you over lap to drag the ball back.
Sunshine, when I said you can keep it down, I don't mean the volume. I meant could you cut some of the swearing out? Is what I meant.
Oh my bad.
He was. I even typed it in the chat because
my bad. Apologies, people, man. Sorry. Listen, I've had enough time to rant, but listen.
No, I get where you're coming from, Dizzy. Like Hannah, do you agree in terms of is this again? There's loads of holes that we can find, but is the bigger problem here maybe just putting the ball in the back of the net when we have chances? We drew and lost so many games last year where we didn't score. Do you agree with what Sunshine's saying?
100%. I think he's right. And I think I said this on Monday, but I mean, there should be an element of pressure coming into Manchester United and, you know, being like the number 7, but like Højlund has got a lot on his shoulders now, especially after these performances. And I agree in a sense of we needed 2 strikers. I always thought we should go for Kane and Højlund, because then Kane's got a backup as he's getting older, and you know you've got those two players that are guaranteed to put balls in the net. And you know, like Sunshine saying, you can't rely on players being out of position. Rashford does not work up top. He works on the left. That's where he's good. That's where he creates the chances. So the goal scoring's worrying, because you know how many goals we scored last season, our goal difference. And like I keep saying, I'm worried about our goal difference further down the line. Like these where, you know, the top 8 is so competitive, and that's crunch time basically, is that goal difference. So it's very, very worrying, the lack of goals for sure. And gone are the days where we used to score 3, 4, 5 in a game. I miss those days. Like we used to score so many goals. So it's like, that's a huge miss. And as a Man United fan, it is a worry, but I definitely think we should have gone in for 2 strikers for sure. I don't think Højlund's going to be enough on his own. And what if he gets injured? It's crazy.
Terry, remember when I told you this? Terry, remember when I told you this? And there was a show before Kane had gone to Bayern Munich, and I told you that Manchester United, if they're going to go in for Harry Kane, go in now. And you were telling me that you were waiting till the Saudis will come in, and then you'll make a bid.
But that was earlier on in the summer. Now, what I said to you at the time is, I said that I think it was a money issue for Man United. I said if the Saudis come in, we'll have the money to go and get him. But I concur. I wanted Harry Kane and Højlund the whole time. In fact, our manager wanted Kane and Højlund the whole time. The problem is the money wasn't there for both. And look, Højlund could come in, stay fit the majority of the season, score loads of goals, and we stop worrying so much. But because he's unproven in the Prem, because he's young and he's the only one we've got, of course, there's a hell of a lot of pressure there, no doubt. Ten Hag has built a midfield with no tech, just runners. Is this cross-country? I'm done with Ten Hag. I understand that. I mean, to a degree, there was a manager in England that's been to 3 Champions League finals, won a league title, Klopp did that, where there wasn't massive tech in there, but there's creativity from other places. It can be done. There's more than one way to skin a cat. But right now, this Mason Mount signing is looking horrendous. I was against it when it happened, but then I put myself in a position of let's see what it looks like in the cold, hard light a day before I overly judge it. But right now, it kind of, and I could be wrong, but it's reminding me of when we bought in Ronaldo, and I know he scored goals, but it upset the balance of the team, and we kind of lost something in terms of how we play. It's just he's there, but I don't know what he's meant to be doing. It should have been Amrabat, and I got called out by, what's his name? Mo the other night on this, and I thought about it afterwards, and I reflected, and he's right. Amrabat should have come in first, because Amrabat in that midfield today, with his ability on the ball and his strength, the game could be different. Now, Sunshine's right. We might not have scored the goals still, but we might not have got run through like diarrhea. Orchi here says, sorry, I wasn't sending the links out today. Very, very sorry. Not getting carried away. Great performance in the second half. Basuma and Adoji. I said it wrong again. Drop.
You said it right. You said it right.
Oh, I did get it right. Sorry. Drop Richarlison, like playing with 10 men, Son up front, and start Perisic or Solomon. Great result. Come on, you Spurs. This here says, I've seen delusion as a gooner, but the United fan base is different. Team is average. Coach can only do so much. Eriksen and Casemiro hurt to watch. Their
MLS.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, MLS. I thought it was an I. It's so small, I'm reading. Declan is what you needed. But yeah, Declan Rice was definitely somebody that I personally wanted. Shades inside are not cool. That's obviously to you, little Dan. That's little to you. Tottenham had their result of the season. Still won't finish above 7th. Ten Hag needs to sort this quick. Losing patience with the clear mistakes. I hear you on that. We should have scored more. Rashford had 2 gilt-edged chances and Bruno a chance. The Garnacho one and the penalty. Yeah, Bruno's especially. I mean, I said goal out loud when it came in. And I know you Spurs fans are like, shit, we've conceded. I couldn't believe he missed it. Does anyone have a plan to get the Glazers out or not? No, Man United fans don't have a plan. They have none. That's it. From a Spurs point of view, Harry's here with us as well. I want to try and speak to everyone before we go. You must be chuffed with life under Big Ange so far, 2 games in, mate.
I love him. He's going to sink a pint tonight for sure, I'm guessing. But I'm absolutely buzzing. I mean, what a performance. First of all, I want to just say to the Man United fans, hello, everyone. But honestly, you lot remind me of Arsenal, just keep going on and on and on and on. But we can focus on Tottenham right now. Richarlison, I'll be real, is a bit dead. We all know that. Obviously, he was crying when he got took off. But, he was dead. I don't want to focus on him. Kulu again was all right, but Maddison, what a player again. Basuma, and you've got to look at Vicario as well. He made quite a few crucial saves in the game that I was thinking, yes, you know, hopefully he's not going to drink drive as much as Lloris does, and he can actually stay with us. But I'm gassed about it, to be honest. Yeah.
I bet. And Jacob, do you echo that sentiment?
Absolutely. I think a lot of Spurs fans, when we brought in Vicario, we were all a little bit like, I don't know. We didn't watch Empoli, but plenty of Italians highly rated this guy. I mean, I believe even Buffon only had good things to say about the kid. So he's over time been putting a lot of those worries to rest for me personally. In the preseason, he showed that, you know, he can get down in a hurry. Jared Bowen had a really good shot. He can get down. As we saw today, he can get up. So now the next thing we need to worry about is our distribution out of the back. I thought we looked very shaky. You know, I gave props to Man United in that first half. I thought you were all over us and didn't really give us much room to operate. That's why I think it was just a stalemate. But really, I don't understand this whole Spurs got lucky thing. Someone tell me, is it luck that the opponent made a mistake, or is that the opponent making a mistake and we just happen to benefit from it? I don't think that that's luck. I think that's putting things into place that then play out in your favor. So I don't believe this luck. The first goal definitely wasn't luck.
Who said you got lucky?
You said you said that we got lucky, that we should have been 3-0 down. That's literally the definition of you got lucky.
Said, no. I said we didn't do our job in the first half and we didn't finish our chances. So when I'm explaining, listen, I give you guys so many props. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm wondering if you guys are listening to me or my twin brother or something.
I wasn't speaking to you personally, Staffy.
Dan just said it was me. I didn't think you guys got lucky. I think we were shit when we came to finish it. No, I didn't say in a way. If I wanted to say Spurs got lucky, I would have said it. I think you guys deserve to win. I already said that. You guys played better than us. I'm saying because Alan was kind of over analyzing my prediction. I explained that if the first half we finish our chances, the prediction is still valid. I don't care about the prediction. I'm just explaining the first half to that.
I think, Jacob, to respond to you, I said in my monologue at the beginning that some people may say both your goals were lucky because there was deflections, and the second one, I don't really know what happened. But like I said, you make your own luck. You put the balls into those danger areas. And one of the things I said about Man United, one, we're not clinical. And another thing we just don't do enough of is, again, I know some people don't like old-fashioned phrases. They like, we need to find a new tactical. What's the tactico? Staffy will know this. What is the tactico expression for get the ball in the mixer or get the ball in the box? What's the expression?
I don't even know what get the ball in the mixer means.
Well, get the ball in the mixer. Get the ball in the mixer. I'll give you an example of what it means. Get the ball in the mixer would mean this. Antony drops his shoulder, gets half a yard, can cross it, but then fucking doesn't, and then does it 3 more times and then passes it backwards. When what he should do, because by the way, when Man United towards the end, Mount put a cross in, a few others did. It was dangerous. They cleared it, but you could see him scrambling. So getting it in the mixer essentially means cross the ball into the damn box. And that's what Spurs did. And the 2 times they did that, well, they scored because you can get a deflection, you can get an own goal. Anything can happen. If you're piss fighting, parts of our game today reminded me of, you remember old school Arsenal, but they just passed it around a lot and no one tried the final ball and no one tried to shoot. Weird. We didn't obviously control the middle as well as they used to, but there we go.
I think we have fell into that a little bit, Terry, that you're speaking of, where when we're playing around in the opponent's half, we're just passing it back and forth, looking left and right where the hole was. I thought there would be more gaps in between than we saw with Brentford because they were comfortable sitting 5 in the box. But United, I mean, you were sitting back before and we were still unable to really crack that egg. So honestly, we weren't perfect, but we were just better on the day. And sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles, in my opinion.
No, I agree. So go on, Al, go on, bro.
With Man United, look, I put that Maddison Mount signing on the same level as do Havertz. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I was doing a watch on. I forgot he was on the pitch for 70 minutes. The reason why he came off, I thought somebody announced over the tunnel that they found his parents, and then he walked off to find them. That's how anonymous he was. Literally, I think he had 7 or 8 pass complete.
He had the least touches on the pitch on the day. He had 26 touches.
Staffy told me was gonna do our midfield over, and I'm just like, please.
I'm telling you, bro, that's my twin brother. I don't know what you're listening to.
And it's not twin brother, it was you. I've got the receipt, so I'm going to play it back and you come on tomorrow. But yeah,
your hearing makes no sense, bro.
Mason Mount for me doesn't make sense. You got another, like for me, a striker's got to come in. I think you need more depth in the defense as well, and obviously that midfielder as well. Casemiro can't do it all by himself. This is what I don't understand. I think Man United fans are throwing Casemiro under the bus from what I've seen.
Yep.
But last year, he was one of the best DMs or central defence midfielders.
Better than Rodri.
Better than Rodri. So now all of a sudden, now it suits you guys. it's now he's bad, he's awful and all that. I think you're just throwing him under the bus.
If I can be honest though, yeah, if I can be honest with the Casemiro. Oh, sorry, go on.
Box to box, who can actually control a game.
Bro, you're not listening, bro. This is the issue, Alan, and I'm actually getting annoyed because you're refusing to listen. You're refusing to listen. When we talked about Casemiro, I swear you're not listening to anything I'm saying. I came out on the first game and I explained the difference between us last season and this season is that we don't sit back like last season. We're actually more advanced up the pitch. We took Eriksen out from next to Casemiro and we put him out and we put him about 30 yards higher. So even though Eriksen is not a good defender, he was still a second body next to Casemiro. Right now, he's left on his own completely. No one drops and does the job that Eriksen did. So for me to criticize him this year and not last year is because last year he was given a different role that fit him perfectly and he did very well. This season he's given a role that doesn't fit him. He's being left a lot more alone and he's being exposed. So my criticism of him is not him personally.
I really agree with you. Sorry, go on.
No, it's incorrect, man. Like you're trying to say that Casemiro wasn't playing the same roles yesterday. I could find you 15 games, 20 games at minimum, right, where he was still higher up the pitch when we were going forward because the system hasn't changed. What you're missing out,
you think the system hasn't changed?
Let me land.
Then what are we doing here? Go ahead.
I'm landing. That's what I'm doing. I'm landing because you're chatting crap and it's pissing me off. I can't lie.
You think I am. It doesn't mean that.
Bro, you are. I'm going to show you right now. You're chatting shit.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You've just made a statement to say Casemiro had a certain role. Now he's got a different role this season. That's Macca. Absolute wash. It's not. He's playing.
Now give me the why. I don't care what you think. I need the why. Explain it.
You don't need. I'm telling you what's happening, and I'm going to.
So you can just debug my statement without explaining, and you're just saying I'm talking shit, but without
you don't want to listen because you don't.
But you don't want to explain. I want you to explain.
Oh, boys, jump in it. Staffy, he's going to get to the point. Staffy, let him explain it.
I'll put myself on mute.
So what I'm trying to say to you is, yeah, Casemiro last season played in the same positions. Check his heat map, exactly the same. Especially when moving forward, he was a lot higher up in the 8 situation. And then the centre back draws it out. He's been in that position for the longest. What you don't understand is the way in which we're playing out the back is now different based on what? A new goalkeeper. So now the way that we play, yes, it's fact.
We had 2 6s last year. I just told you that.
Bro. We're now at a situation, bro, yeah, where we no longer have to then play those passes in and around our back area as much. The goalkeeper is clearing out the 6 and the 8 positions most of the time with his passing. And it's going to our fullbacks, which we said at this one, not we, which I said, and many others that I spoke to said will probably happen this season, that the fullbacks will be a lot higher up the pitch. So we're missing that midfield part out. And when you take out a Mason, when you put a Mason Mount into that midfield, who's a pure engine, he's much better further up the pitch. We've seen the late runs that he makes into the box. He's a nuisance in that area. But then what happens as a bypass is that Casemiro is then left on his own when we lose the ball. So it's not on a Casemiro situation. And I'll land with this. Who was the priority signing when Ten Hag first came in? Anyone know? Priority.
Sancho.
Say again?
It was Sancho. It was not Casemiro.
No. When he first came in, who did we get that we didn't get? That everyone was crying about. Barcelona. Frankie de Jong.
Yeah.
And what type of player is Frankie de Jong? A ball carrier. He's the most prime in that area. So Casemiro was not that. He is not what Ten Hag wants in that area. The difference is now we've got a keeper that evades the 8 position with his passing, which is fine. But then it alleviates what Casemiro had to do last season. He's still holding the same positions. Just watch football with your own eyes and get your agenda in the bin, bro.
It's not an agenda, bro. Everything you just said, everything you just said. No, hold on. Everything you just said falls back to what I am saying. The Eriksen role that was being done. Hold on. The Eriksen role that was being done last season no longer exists. There's no more Eriksen role in that. You're explaining why there's no Eriksen role. I get that because you're saying now that we have a ball playing goalkeeper.
No, I'm explaining that Casemiro's situation hasn't changed in terms of how he
doesn't have the ball progression next to him like he did last season. That's what I'm trying to explain. So his role changed because of who's next to him. Maybe you're trying to explain
his role has not changed.
Boys, I'm going to jump in for a second here. I understand what you're both saying, but for me, I look at the manager. So let's say you've changed the role, and 2 games in, you're noticing that your DM's being exposed. And listen, I don't think, unless you have a DM who is electric, say, or maybe at Kante's level, and even then, maybe not. I think if you put Rodri or Partey in the same position that Casemiro's in. There's a few tackles, they're a bit faster than him. So maybe they get to 1 or 2 more of these balls than he does. But if you expose any of them in the way he's been exposed, he's going to get run all over. This is on the manager to say, right, I want Mount in this position or Eriksen, whoever's playing in that other midfield role. But one of our fullbacks has got to step into the middle, or a centre-back has got to come up higher and a fullback sit lower. Whatever way around you've got to do it. He is standing there, and in the second half it happened. He's looking around, and he's got 2 or 3 men to pick up. What's Casemiro meant to do? I do believe we're throwing him under the bus. We are here focusing on the symptom of the problem, and you could put in any DM in the world you want, and if we keep exposing him one-on-one, he'll keep getting exposed. Same as Man United. We always do this as Man United fans. We have a problem, and we always take it out on one individual player. If we get rid of Bruno, we'll be better. We used to say that about Pogba. If you get rid of, I remember way back when some of you were probably still like suckling on your mum. I'm talking to the viewers here. If we sell Fellaini, watch us improve. None of that ever works because it isn't just one thing ever. And there's elements of our team that can look good, but it's things like this. And some of it's the manager, some of it's the players. Rashford is one of the best left-sided attackers in the world. Stop playing him as a 9.
Yep.
Mason Mount can't play CM. So move him into his right position or don't. Man United for the last 10 years have infuriated me. We put too many round pegs into square holes and vice versa all the goddamn time. Buy someone and play them in the position they're meant to be in. And Rashford's a prime example, one of the best in the world on the left. Now you're playing him as a 9, which we know he can't do. It is crazy, absolutely crazy to me to do it, you know. And look, I get where you're both coming from. I want to go to some more of these super chats. Not to scare you, Terry, but I saw Chelsea from last season, no cohesion in the press, and that could have been this. I will say this, in the first half, I thought we pressed well, won the ball back well. We did some really good things. So that isn't my worry. My issue is more when we start losing, we fall apart. We're fragile. We've got fragile chins. Why do you guys always lose to Spurs? They're Spurs.
That's not true. This is the first time we beat Manchester United at our home in 5 years.
Yeah, we've
that's
actually
crazy.
been beating them for a while.
I know we've been beating them for a while.
City.
Just saw a mad stat. Man United conceded 30 shots in the last 2 games. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, 40. I mean, 23 of them are against Wolves, which was a bit of an anomaly. But yeah, we do concede. We've been poor so far. United were so ashamed of their team. They are wearing Newcastle colours. You even design your kits like them. You are rattled by them, is what Paul says here. Onana in midfield will do better than Mount.
100%.
Listen, that control in his chest and that long ball from him, it is.
Yeah,
I thought Pogba was in goal.
Did you see that pass to Garnacho? Yeah.
It was great. Last season, sweet dreams. Get 2 strikers, Kane and Mbappe, after finally getting the owners and close the gap on City by 15 points. You have to love the Glazers. Yeah, I thought my manager had a plan. Dan looks so chill now. Yeah, he does. He's enjoying himself. The final third says the thing about Mount is that he is a team player. I mean that as a compliment, and Tuchel said it too. But when the overall team isn't functioning well, plus a transfer fee, the criticism comes. Well, maybe I call that a luxury player. But until your system and team's perfect, you can't be buying luxury players. If what you're saying is true.
Alvarez just scored a worldie.
Staffy is not looking good, bruv.
My football's too advanced for some people to understand.
Oh,
that's okay. By the way, guys.
Oh wow, good goal.
Me and AJ are like brothers here, so it's okay. We criticize each other, but this.
Oh yeah, we have healthy debates, man. We go in. Like,
yeah, he can tell me I'm chatting shit, but it's okay. I'll take it from him.
Yeah, it's all love, man.
Let me land reminded me of KDB. Let me talk. As a Barca fan, I approve of this. Even when we had trouble with them, we still won games. True. Mason took Chelsea with him. I hear ya. Need fullbacks that can invert. The truth is that United need a Chelsea-style clear-out, so we have to play the long game. Ten Hag's job is to survive it and develop the youth system in the meantime. Look, I hear you there. There's still some things that he could do and get better. Yeah, Alvarez has scored for City. Great goal as well. Great strike. Top corner, bang, 1-0. That'll probably be the end of that game. Obviously, a big panel, hour into the show already. I want to say, boys, I know not all of you have had a chance to speak loads on the show. This kind of happens when you get the teams play each other. The loser typically dominates the airways when we do these shows more than usual. I'm sure if we won 2-0, it'd be more about Spurs than it would be us. Viewers, please hit the like button before you leave. I want to thank Hannah, Sunshine, Daniel, Jacob, Harry, Staffy, Alan, and of course Dizzy for coming on and having their say. We are live after Newcastle City. That's why I have to go, because I've been watching it, but I've got to go and study the game a little bit more. Boys, I always appreciate your input, and of course, young Hannah as well. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless.